Hey guys, welcome back to the NPL Minors. We're sitting at a nice and powerful 0-3. We're going against Jarr, who is a GBA analyst. He's 1-2. We'll go over his draft real quick. He has Megalodios, which is gigantic threat, one of the best megas in the league for sure. My opinion, it's outclassed by Megalodios, which is banned in most draft leagues. And of course, Metagross, Mega King, all that stuff. But probably the best Mega that was allowed in this draft, which is pretty crazy. Second Mon is Weavile, which is by far the most threatening Mon for my team, specifically because Hoopa-U gets O-Code, Zapdos gets O-Code, Altaria gets O-Code, Dugtrio gets O-Code, Metagross, depending on my set, can get a lot of damage dealt to it, but it depends. Decidueye gets O-Code, Milotic can wall it pretty effectively, but Pursuit can be an issue. Darmanitan gets killed after rocks, I believe. Stunfisk gets O-Code, Porygon 2 gets its Eviolite knocked off, Mienshao doesn't switch into Ice Cool Crash at all, and gets its Scarf knocked off if I'm Scarf, and then gets outsped. And Ambipom gets outsped as well, so Weavile, super annoying mon for me to deal with because it just O-Codes like the vast majority of my team and outspeeds the whole thing too. And can knock off Scarfs if I try to switch in like a Scarf, like a mon that can switch into it defensively and outspeed it. But it can knock off the Scarf, so I can't go for that kind of gimmick either. Those can be really hard to play around Weavile this match. Third mon on this team is Azumarill. Not a huge threat to my team since I do have mons like maybe Sash Dugtrio or Mega Altaria and Haze Milotic to deal with it decently well if he wants to bring Belly Drum. Band isn't a huge issue either since I have mons like Zapdos that can take hits and go for super effective. Stab that and not die to any one hit. Entei, huge issue to my team as well. Gets Iron Head coverage for Mega Altaria and gets Bloom Doom for Milotic, and pretty much like destroys the rest of the draft. Aside from Porygon 2, Cobalion is super annoying as well because it's fast and it's a rock setter, so that can be annoying. Fighting Stab is pretty good against me, though I do have Zapdos and Mega Altaria to deal with it. Mega Altaria gets hit with Iron Head, so mostly we'll be trying to use Zapdos to deal with Cobalion, even though it does learn Stone Edge. Its attack isn't that great, so Milotic is good against it too. Then he has Blastoise, who can spin hazards away if I want to hazard stack him, but my team doesn't have spikes, so not the hugest issue of this game. Uxie, which is very annoying because it functions as a defensive wall for mons like Mienshao and Ambipom if I want to bring those. And it also is faster than Hoopa, so it can go for U-turns on that and deal a ton of damage. Gourgeist, which isn't that great this match, but could come. It can deal sort of well with a Dragon Dance Altaria. Hippowdon, which I thought was going to come, but as you can see, it did not. Mon deals decently well with Zapdos. It means I can't get free volt switches. There are Zapdos typically beating. Hoopa-U is also like a physical, non-banned Hoopa-U. Can get walled by Hippowdon too, like from Scarf. And I'm not a trick set. Magneton can trap Metagross and proceed to die to an Earthquake, so that's not really gonna be of much use to him this match, so I didn't really expect it to come, and as you can see, it did not. Umbreon, super annoying wall for me, especially because I have Hoopa-U, and Hoopa-U can't really touch Umbreon except with Focus Blast, so I have to hit Focus Blast against it, and Foul Play is doing a clean like 80% to, regardless, even though I'm a special set, it's doing like 80%, which is really annoying, because Hoopa's attacking stats are so high, and its defense is so low. And the last one is Golbat. Golbat can deal with a decent majority of my team pretty well. It's not trapped by Dugtrio. Can take fairy hits from Mega Altaria, and Mega Altaria can't really hit it super effectively. It's sort of capitalized on by Hoopa-U, but it does get U-turn, so I have to watch out for that. And I do believe it naturally outspeeds, so I'm not sure on all that speed here. It can toxic mons like Zapdos, just be a general annoyance to my team, so kind of an annoying mon there. It's just one of those Eviolite mons that likes to spam Roost and Toxic and just be a pain to deal with. So I'll go over the team I brought once Team Builder decides to load for me. Showdown, why are you doing this? Alright. So the first one I have on here is a Adamant Decidueye. I brought a very offensive one because it's hard for a lot of his walls to switch in to Ghost Stab and Grass Stab. And I U-turn for mons like Weavile and Umbreon. I'm holding Colberberry. Colberberry is for Weavile. I don't believe he will want to go for Ice Cold Crash against me since I carefully constructed this team so that I don't have a good knockoff switch in, so he'll be inclined to go for knockoff against me because the mons that do take a knockoff die to Ice Cold Crash, like Mega Altaria and Zapdos. So he will always want to go for, like, knockoff will always be his play over Ice Cold Crash against Decidueye, in my opinion, or Pursuit, which is even better, but knockoff also because you can knock off Milotic's Flame Orb on the switch in, which is really huge. So I'm bringing Colberberry, and U-turn doesn't OHKO, but deals like clean like 80-90% to Weavile, which puts it in range of rocks, and just in range of any attack from anyone on my team. And the last move is Defog. He does have some options. I don't believe he has anything that learns spikes, but having rocks up can be annoying for my Altaria if I'm not Mega yet and deals 25% to me. It can be annoying for my Zapdos as well. And I didn't have room on my Zapdos for Defog, and I needed a fourth move on Decidueye, so I decided to put Defog on it. It's also nice since I force out Luxie and can defog its rocks away. I am running enough speed to speed creep I believe I'm running enough speed to speed creep Jolly Azumarill, so I'll be able to outspeed and Leaf Blade that thing and take a +6 Aqua Jet. Move on to the next mon. We have a Max Fizz Def Bold Flame Orb Milotic, so this thing's going to be a huge physical tank. Nothing on his team really breaks this at all, and because of the Flame Orb, it can't be status with badly poisoned. So it's just going to be an insanely hard mon for him to break. I have Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic Recover. I'm not running Haze because part of the reason was because even if I'm facing an Azumarill, I still have mons like Decidueye and Mega Altaria to deal with it decently well if it gets a free Belly Drum off, and also Scald Breath. But that's kind of sketch. I don't expect much setup from the other mons on his team if he doesn't decide to bring a Azumarill, so it would really only be for that, and Toxic is really nice against his team aside from that. And Ice Beam is just necessary so that I can hit mons like Gourgeist and Mega Latios for a decent amount of damage and not be doing pitiful amounts. Like I can break with Mega Latios and sub, which is really important. Third mon is Zapdos. I sort of copied a set, stole a set off of Monotui for this one. I'm bringing Subroost Toxic Thunderbolt. This thing is meant to sort of lure and counter Hippowdon. I can sub on its Toxic or Rocks or whatever move or EQ or whatever move it wants to go for. I don't know why you'd EQ. I guess if I'm under 50, you might expect a Roost. And proceed to Toxic it and just stall it out like that. Usually if a Hippowdon is looking to beat a Zapdos, they don't run Stone Edge, because Stone Edge, I don't believe it to a KOs a defensive Zapdos. Especially because of Roost. He'll need to protect Roost over and over, and that's going to be a difficult situation for him. So, I'm not expecting Stone Edge Hippowdon to deal with this. Probably a Toxic Hippowdon. The substitute helps me with that. So, that's the Zapdos set. It also helps me wall a lot of different mons on his team. Like, I can sub on an Entei and see which move it wants to lock himself into if he's a banned set. I can sub on mons like Uxie as well. I don't believe Uxie can break a sub. And like defensively, I can also check like physical Mega Latios, Latios, and I can check Cobalion as well. Even though it does learn Stone Edge, it still takes a decent amount from Thunderbolt, and I don't believe Stone Edge to a KOs unless he's like super offensive Life Orb set, and then it's harder for him to set up rocks. So I guess he's setting up rocks with Uxie, but he would need to be a very offensive set with Stone Edge to beat this. And so next mon is Mega Altaria. I am running Return, Roost, Dragon Dance, Heal Bell. I know I don't have coverage for Entei and Magneton and Golbat on this, but I considered my options and decided that this wouldn't be the mon that I'm beating Entei with anyway. I have to whittle it down with my other mons, and I wanted this set to be able to take full advantage of Umbreon. I'd rather have Entei switch in on me for free. Well, it's not even for free because he takes 25 from return, which is a pretty solid amount. You can't keep clicking that. But while this mon is alive, Umbreon like literally can't do anything because I can counter whatever move it wants to go for completely. I am running enough speed to outspeed Weavile at +1, so if Entei has gone down or is weakened, I can sweep with this mon. I'm not running full attack EVs. I'm running very few attack EVs. I'm still adamant though. But this mon isn't really meant as a setup sweeper, but Dragon Dance is there for the late game if I have worn down his walls with Decidueye enough. Next mon is Metagross. Leftovers Spadef set. This is meant to be my Mega Lati counter. I have Stealth Rock, Toxic, EQ, and Meteor Mash. Toxic is here mostly for the lords that Metagross has, like Gourgeist and Uxie, and even like Entei. I can EQ Entei if I'm predicting it, but sometimes Toxic is a lot safer of a play than EQ. Like if he has Mega Lati in and it's not Toxic yet, I can go for Toxic, and regardless of whether he stays in or goes to Entei, I'll get off Toxic on either one. It'll be good for me in the long run. And last mon is Hoopa-U. Sort of a weird set. I have Focus Blast, Dark Pulse, Energy Ball, and Reflect. What Reflect allows me to do is, against like a Hippowdon, if he wants to sack against me, I can go for Reflect and take much less from EQ and then kill it with Energy Ball. And once I have a Reflect up, he actually has nothing to revenge me with. In which case I just get a second kill, and third kill, and a lot more. So as long as he's not super over-prepped and carrying U-turn on a billion mons, Reflect will allow me to get multiple kills with Hoopa if I'm able to get it up. And Leftovers just helps me with that. I don't need extra power from Life Orb or anything like that because I do have super effective moves for all of his walls. Only thing is Umbreon, and that's most of the reason why I am running the Altaria with no coverage. Because Umbreon is such an annoyance to Hoopa, I do have to hit 2 Focus Blasts in a row to kill it. So Altaria is super important for that. And as you can see, he didn't even bring it, so guess we'll get into the game. So he brought Golbat, which was a bit of a surprise to me. It is a good wall against me, but it's sort of passive in general, and I do have Metagross, which can hard counter it, but if he's Super Fang, that could be annoying too. because Metagross lacks reliable recovery. So I decide I will lead with Decidueye. I beat Uxie. If he decides to lead with that, I can just get off a huge Spirit Shackle against any mon on his team. He doesn't have a Ghost Resist besides Weavile, and once Weavile has taken a Spirit Shackle, it'll go for the knockoff on my Colbert and then die to U-turn. Then I'll have Decidueye around for later. So I decide to lead Decidueye. It's my best lead by far, as he decides to lead off right with the gigantic threat Weavile. And I described what his play would be going for knockoff against Decidueye every single time, because he'll want to get rid of Milotic's Flame Orb if that's my switch in. And yeah, he just really can't let Milotic get off its Flame Orb, because he can't break Milotic once its Flame Orb is activated. So I didn't believe Icicle Crash was ever his play here. And as you can see, he didn't go for Icicle Crash, which is really nice. So he knocks off, I take a ton of damage, and a U-turn to get a ton of damage off of him. Now I can freely get Milotic's Flame Orb out, which is huge. So now I'm taking nothing from Weavile's attacks. Can't be Toxicked by Golbat or Uxie or whatever mon that wants to go for Toxic. And I'm just a huge defensive nuisance for Entei and mons like that. And for Entei and Weavile. So, and also Cobalion. So now he goes for knockoff again, which is interesting. In my opinion, he should have saved this Weavile since he's not. Because he's not Life Orb, so he can still OHKO a bunch of my mons later. So I go for a Toxic, expecting him to switch out to probably Megalodi or maybe Uxie. But he stays in, so I get a Toxic off on this, which is kind of bad because I'd rather have just killed it with Scald. So he switches to Uxie on my recover. This is fine. I'll just Toxic this as it goes for rocks. Can't really do anything to me since I can't be statused. So he ends up just U-turning out because he can't do anything to me. As I just go for Scald, I want to switch to Cobalion. That's a clean 3 KO, and if I get a burn, then he's doing even less to me. So I was thinking he would go for Volt Switch, just trying to get chip on my Milotic. We can just end up going to Megalodi and using Draco Meteor to finish me off. But instead, what he opts to do is go for a Swords Dance, as I predict his Volt Switch and go for a Recover. So sort of a bad turn of events. Now he'll be actually doing some damage to me. I still don't believe Close Combat is a 2 KO even after the SD, so he'll need to SD again to 2 KO me, as I just go for Scald. So he goes for his +4 Close Combat, and it still doesn't kill. So I get off the Scald, kill off his Cobalion. So now Weavile's super weakened, Cobalion is down, and we're looking pretty nice here. Although we do have both Decidueye and Milotic super low. Like, Milotic's not going to be able to recover on anything because everything's faster than it and kills it. Actually, I'm not sure that Uxie Psyshock kills, but it's going to be hard to recover on anything with Milotic. It goes back into Weavile. He's Toxic, so my best play is just to sack both Milotic and Decidueye and let him die to the 2 turns of Toxic, which is what I end up doing. Decidueye goes down, and now it's a double down. I decide I'm going to go into Mega Altaria, because I'd rather not have to switch into hits in my base form, and while taking 25% from rocks. Like, if I want to switch into Sacred Fires, it'll be much easier if I'm already Mega'd. So I just want to get my free Mega off. I can get the Mega off versus mons like Mega Latios, and even Golbat, I can get it off because I do have Heal Bell for Toxic if he wants to go for that, or Poison Fang. Only mon that I can't really get it off on is Entei, because he can outspeed and flinch me to death with Iron Head. So he goes Uxie, which is really great for me because it allows me to get my Mega off. I'm not scared of T-Wave or anything like that because I do have the Heal Bell. So I just go for Roost, getting rid of the Rocks damage. As he goes Golbat, I have Heal Bell for this, but I don't have coverage for it, so I just switch out to Metagross. Just want to scout what kind of set he is. As he goes for Poison Fang. I'm immune to that, so that's just free rocks for me. So U-turns here, which kind of shows me that he doesn't have Super Fangs. He would have gone for it there, because Zen Headbutt may or may not be into a KO depending on my set. So I get my rocks up here. He goes back into Uxie. So I just go right into Zapdos. I'm fearing a Thunder Wave there. I don't want to get Parahexed in the end game if I have Metagross versus Golbat. Because if I do get really bad Parahax, it could wear me down with U-turns, which is kind of sad, but it could happen. And like if Mega Latios decides to go for a Shadow Ball, like a maybe +1, and I have to take one hit and go for a Meteor Mash to kill it, I don't want to get fully parried. So going to Zapdos expecting a Thunder Wave, as he just goes for a Foul Play, which does nothing, so I get a free sub here. Now that I've seen his Foul Play, he might, I go for a sub, and he goes for a U-turn, and that's awesome because he doesn't break my sub, just a free sub, as he goes into Entei. So this is fine with me since I am speed creeping in Adamant Entei, and they almost always run Adamant because they can't be Jolly if they have E-Speed. And E-Speed is just a great move to have on Entei. So I go for the Thunderbolt on this Entei. Does a clean amount of damage. With the rolls, it could or couldn't be a 2 KO. I guess I should check this roll right now, but I'm recording. I don't feel like opening a calc tab. As he actually just misses a Fire Blast, that obviously would have broken my sub. We did some calcs after the game, and the Fire Blast would have done a little under 50 to the Zapdos, so in the end, I could have beaten it. He did have Toxic for my Zapdos, which was kind of annoying, but he still wouldn't have beaten me 1v1, but he would have crippled the Zapdos either with a Toxic or with going for Fire Blast and keeping me under 50%. So, very unfortunate for him. And what's more unfortunate for him is that I get this like sort of low to high roll, which he was expecting to live but didn't. So not only do I get rid of Entei, but he also doesn't break my sub, which is some bad hacks for him. And I also don't like the hacks there too, because it removes some of the legitimacy of the game, unfortunately. But, you know, it happens. So I still have my sub up, looking fine. We're up 4-3, which is nice, and 2 of the mons he has left are just almost completely passive. And I have some of my more wall breakers left, like Hoopa and Mega Altaria. Well, I guess Mega Altaria is more of a sort of stall breaker, because I can do well. I can set up on mons like Uxie and Golbat if need be. It goes into Uxie. I'm just going to go for Thunderbolts wearing this thing down. I know it can't break my sub even with Psyshock. That's Psyshock plus U-turn not breaking my sub. So Zapdos is a champ for sure. And I just go for 2 Thunderbolts. The crit there is actually sort of unfortunate because it means I can't sub again. So I won't have a sub up when he goes to his Latios after this Uxie dies. Which is a bit unfortunate, but I can't really complain after his best way to break Zapdos' sub got hacked out. So he goes into Latios. I assume that he just went to Uxie to break the sub, that Latios could get off like a big special hit. So I'm just going to get off a Toxic on it, and I actually outspeed, which is pretty crazy because he's 10 speed higher than me. I'm not even running that much speed. I'm running like 100 or so speed. I'm running, I believe I am timid with just enough speed to outspeed Entei. I'm at 300, I believe. So he must be a really slow Latios, probably Adamant DD. So, but he's not doing anything to me since I am defensively invested. So he's gonna go for Dragon Claws. He actually gets a crit there, doesn't matter. I can just ruse Toxic Stall him for a couple turns. as he goes down, and now he just has Golbat left, and Golbat can't touch my Metagross, as we've already seen. So I'm just going to speed until that turn, and a bunch of turns of him going for U-turn, and then I kill him. He realizes he's the nice guy, realized that he couldn't break Metagross, and eventually I'll get an attack raise with Meteor Mash, and he just let me go. He just stopped roosting, just let me go for Meteor Mashes. So good game to Jarr. I'm sorry about the Entei missing a Fire Blast and then the low to high roll. Again, I'm not too sure like whether like the first Thunderbolt was a min roll and the second one was mid roll, or the first one was a mid roll, the second one was a high roll, or something like that. Because from the damage, it looked like you should have lived on 2% if it did the same amount of damage, but that's Pokemon, unfortunately. I don't believe I would have lost without the hacks, but it's hard to say since it was still a 4-4 game at that point. But I was in a good position either way. The hacks definitely mattered. I mean, especially for differential, because it meant that like his best counter to Zapdos went down, and then he couldn't really kill it with anything else. So it definitely mattered in the end. Like if he ends up going 3 and 4 or something, and he's tied with like 2 other 3 and 4 teams, and they're all fighting for playoffs just with differentials, it could be a little bit difficult there. But we do win our first game of the 4 in a row that we need to win to make playoffs. Maybe 3. Not sure if a 3 and 4 team will make playoffs. I guess we'll see. But that's cool for us nonetheless. We do pick up our first win in Minors, which is great because we've gotten hacked in 2 out of 3 games so far. May or may not have mattered in the first one, but definitely last week's battle was fun with the hacks. Week 2 was clean at least. I just got steamrolled by PokeTCG Gamer. So, good game to Rob. And I'll see you guys next week when we face the Foghorn Channel, Keegan, and the Colorado Avalugs. Alright, see you guys later.